That is a hole. Why is there a child staring into the pit of despair?
Hey! What are you doing over there?
Well, you scared me half to death. What if I fell? How would you pay me back? If my hidden powers hadn't been awakened yet, you know, I'm just a helpless little child. Oh, hey, kid. Yeah, the kid's just like staring into the abyss these days, you know? The children.
Sorry, Paimon didn't mean to give you a fright, but hidden powers? Did you develop some kind of super duper ultimate technique or something?
Look, it's called a hidden power for a reason. If it's hidden, how the heck would I know what it is? He's got a point.
Look, let's put all that to the side for now. Can you help me find the star shards? I've saved up quite a bit of pocket money from helping out Mama Coco, and you can have every last Mora. Well, since you're asking us for help, and you could at least tell us your name? By the way, Paimon's Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
The name I use now is nothing but a code name. That's all. But everyone calls me Orko. So you might as well too. Now, how about those star shards? Will you help?
No. What is a star shard? Doesn't sound like it's something you can come by too easily.
They're shards split off from the stars that fell from the sky. As long as you find them and return them to their original spot, you can regain the power that was lost. Ooh, this sounds very close to the summer event that we had.
Look! A fallen star is just down below. So there's gotta be some leads to find the star shard down there. Come on, give me a hand. Okay, we'll help you out this time still. Those star shards and lost power and whatnot. It feels like something out of a novel.
You never heard of a story of Koyor and Ukuku? My dad's told me it 1,000,000 times. I got it completely memorized. I'd be happy to share it with you. But let's go down and take a look together first. The Tale of Koyor and Ukuku. Okay. We have received the book. The Tale of Kulya and Ukuku. Long, long ago, that dim star was as bright as all the other stars you now see. Yet the lives of the tribespeople were much the same as they were in present day. To you, this way of life may seem overly familiar, perhaps nothing special, even lacking in excitement. But for Kulya, who lived on that star, it was anything but ordinary. Though the star that Kulya lived on was one that was closest to the tribes, yet still she was inestimably far away from her brothers and sisters. Like you, she was always full of curiosity for things she didn't understand. Just as we who live on the ground gaze up in awe at the starry sky, she too would often look down with great interest upon the tribes of the ground. But one day Kulya leaned too far forward and accidentally fell from the sky. Falling to the ground, the star lost its former brilliance and her power shattered into fragments that were scattered across the land. Her father, the sun, had entrusted her with this power, exhorting her to guard it carefully, but now without that power, she can never again return to the sky. Kulya reflected on how, when she was simply observing it from the star, life on the ground had seemed so fascinating to her. Yet now she had to give up her original life and become a part of it. It all seemed far less satisfying. For a long time, Kulya wandered alone, facing many dangers, for the wilderness back then was far more perilous than it is now. Yet despite her tribulations, she found nothing. Later, by utter chance, she met Ukuku, a hunter from the tribe, and things began to change. Ukuku was a fierce warrior, as strong and silent as a bear. Upon learning Kulya's plight, he agreed to help her search for the scattered shards of her star, then send her back home. He prided himself on his skills as a hunter, both his prowess in sending chase, and of course his mastery of the art of tracking too. So side by side, they set off in their roamings. They climbed high mountains and scaled great peaks, venturing into deep ravines and gloomy caverns, and in the process defeated hordes of enemies and made scores of friends. Under Ukuku's watchful guidance, Kulya grew accustomed to life on the ground, just like you and me. Perhaps even better than some of us. She hunted, fought, and rested with saurians, recounted the incredible stories she heard from the mouths of storytellers to the children of the tribe, ate tacos and chased after the monetu. Yet occasionally on those nights back then, unlit by glowing graffiti, the stars in the night sky would suddenly remind her of her distant home. now she was even further from her brothers and sisters. Did they miss her too? After years of fruitless searching, Kuya began to wonder, perhaps in the same way that she became a part of the tribe, her lost power had long since been found. Perhaps the birds, beasts, insects, and snakes had claimed it for their own? When she asked Ukuku if he had grown tired of chasing such an elusive goal, the only answer he gave was a short, "Sorry." What a tongue-tied hunter, she thought to herself. Yet his heart is kind. Besides, they had been searching blindly from the very start, and it was any reckoning of a difficult task. And besides, it really had nothing to do with Ukuku from the first. So his apology was utterly misplaced. Thinking back on how this quiet hunter had taken such good care of her, Kuya could only marvel at his kindness. Later on, Kuya and Ukuku were to form a family together, settling down in a quarter of the tribe. And to think the young children of the tribe had not the slightest inkling that one of their neighbors had fallen from the star. Kuya had always been of cheerful disposition, and when things happened that could not be helped, she simply let them be. Though her homeland was now far out of reach, the twinkling stars seemed to greet her as if they were her brothers and sisters themselves. And so she was content. But Ukuku, who wished had seemingly come true, became even more silent, gloomy than before. Some said it was his nature, while others speculated that he was haunted by guilt as a result of having failed to fulfill his promise to Kulie. Such theories each have their merits, but as you know, when someone harbors an unspeakable secret, they tend to appear melancholy. This was certainly the case for Ukuku. But what exactly was this secret that Ukuku was hiding? Forgive me. I must keep you in suspense for now, and instead return to the matter of neighbors. It is said that a relative far off is less helpful than a neighbor close by, and in a tribe, we always rely on the support of our neighbors and friends. As bad luck would have it, their neighbor Pochika was a troublemaker who had never gotten along with Ukuku. He had always tried to make things difficult for Ukuku, but as long as Ukuku ignored him, things never escalated. So before Kulie's arrival, they managed to coexist. But Kulie's presence ignited a spark of jealousy in Pochika. Once that spark was lit, it could not be so easily extinguished.
Ukuku is a kind person, and kind people always put the needs of others above their own.
Of course, Pochika was well aware of what other tribespeople thought of Ukuku, but he clearly saw things differently. What a bore he is. A complete and utter bore. But I can use his kindness against him. And in the end, he'll save me much trouble. Pochika's plan was very simple. He would, from time to time, speak badly of Ukuku in front of Kulie, adding a bit of color here and there, embellishing his stories with malicious barbs. You might wonder how such a clumsy trick would work, but do not forget the extreme reticence, even gloominess that Ukuku had shown of late could be hard to bear for someone whose origins were as special as Kulie's. "Ah, look at you, like a bird that had its wings clipped." When he was talking to Kulie, Pochina always took on an air of intimacy. He'd always been like this. Whenever he found a bird he liked, he clipped its wings to stop it from flying away, then lock it in a cage. Pitiful. Truly pitiful. At first, Kulie paid no attention to her vindictive neighbor's gossip. But after years of hearing it time and time again, she could not help but begin to have doubts. She longed to know what was in Ukuku's heart. But neither did she want to make a big deal out of nothing, so she tried probing with a few comments disguised as playful remarks. Yet always, Ukuku seemed unwilling to engage, either dodging her questions or simply adopting his usual gloomy demeanor, answering only with a heavy silence. Now, let us return to the secret that Ukuku had kept hidden within his heart. Everything he did only served to deepen Kulie's suspicions, and she was the type that liked to get to the bottom of things after all. If it wasn't for that, she would never have fallen from her star in the first place. Under the pressure of her questioning, Ukuku soon confessed his secret. As it turned out that in the course of their past travels together, he had indeed found some star shards. In other words, the goal that had always seemed so elusive to Kulie was not entirely without its clues. But by that time, Ukuku had already developed feelings for her, and he knew that when the day came when all the shards had been found, Kulie would return to the stars. They would never see one another again. As I see it, it's hard for anyone to persist in something that goes against their nature for long, and Ukuku was no exception to this rule. When he finally revealed his innermost secret, it was as if a heavy weight had been lifted from his shoulders, and even the gloom on his face seemed to lessen. Yet, having heard his confession, Couleur felt only sadness, anger. Deceit and betrayal were things she had never before known. But now, she understood their bitter pang. She really was a bird whose wings had been clipped. Thinking such a thought only served to convince Couleur that Ukuku's actions could not be forgiven. And as we all know, though it takes great time to build, deep trust can be destroyed in an instant. Couleur demanded that Ukuku hand over the star shards he had hidden, but Ukuku refused. He could not bear the thought of parting with her, still believing that as long as he kept her close, there was always a chance that he might turn things around. But this was a vain idea, whereas we all have our limits when it comes to forgiveness. And these vary from person to person, so for Couleur, did the buck stop at deceit and betrayal. Ignoring his pleas, Couleur left the tribe she had once considered home, returning to the same wilderness she had wandered when she first fell down to the ground. But this time, it was different. She knew what she had to do. Like a true person of Natlan, she left a huge work of graffiti on the vast expanse of the land. How big was it? Though it can now be seen no longer, it is said that those who witnessed it at the time remarked that it might have been bigger than a volcano. You could not have missed such a gigantic piece of graffiti, even if you were gazing down from the sun itself. And indeed, that was her intention. Let her lost powers be, she thought to herself. Whether hidden by Ukuku or claimed by the birds, beasts, insects, and snakes, it mattered not, for she could always turn to her father, the one who had bestowed this power upon her in the first place, and was willing to accept any punishment that may come her way. And lo, Couleur's son-father saw her plea, quickly bringing her back to the sky. That star that had lost its power became dim and was now almost invisible, unless you looked very closely. Would Couleur still look down at the land, observing the lives of the people below as she once did? I do not know the answer to that, but what was certain is that she was reunited with her many brothers and sisters, returned to a place that even the mightiest Iktomisaurus could not reach. As for Ukuku, who had been left behind, his deceit and betrayal angered the sun. As punishment, he was blinded by the sun's golden arrows. From then on, wherever he went, the sun would retreat behind the clouds, leaving him without a trace of sunlight. Even their child Kunter, who was still very young at the time, was affected by this. As a result, he was unable to form a single friendship with any Saurian until he had grown up to be a young man. But as for Kunter's adventures thereafter, well, that's another story entirely.
I never had made myself, thank you! Now this is the fallen star? You look at it up close. Ah! A mysterious power surging through my body! Huh? Really? Hey! Wait a second! We haven't even found the scattered fragments yet! What? Speaking of the fragments, are there really clues to them around here? Paimon doesn't see anything. So, what's next? We'll have to rely on our raw strength. Hit it with all your might of a Teplosaurus and, maybe we'll find out where the missing fragments are. Brute force can solve most problems. That's what my dad says. But I still haven't awoken my strength, so I don't have my own Saurian either. So you're all I got! Right, like, are we not seeing this in front of us right now? Dad'll be happy for sure. Do we... Okay, I will just... indwell a Teplosaurus, I guess. Did that work? Look, the shiny patch in the wall! And not being able to read text again! Oh god. Oh, hello? Right, I can... Is it E? E. Star Shard. What? Star Shard. A strange fragment that Orcos deemed as a Star Shard. This looks like a moonstone from Pokemon. Is there anything else? Can I get out of here? Hello? Can I... Where am I? Am I on the ceiling? I would like escape. I would like out, actually. Hello? Out? I swear to fucking God, if I'm stuck again, I'm going to... There we go. The skill issue is evident. Hello? Hello? E. In... Ugh. Go. Any more? There it is. It doesn't point to it, which is annoying. Ah! Ah, fine. This is getting really annoying. I know we don't have that much phlogiston, but what the heck? Where? Hello? Hello? Okay, cannot maintain state. Fine. Look, if I got stuck there, I was gonna be so mad. Okay, up there. Cannot perform, bro. I swear to God. This probably took like 3 seconds for everyone. And I'm struggling. Is that it? Are we gone? Okay, good. Yippee! I would like to never do this again, thank you.
That should be alright. This commission was way easier than Paimon thought it'd be.
Speak for yourself, Paimon.
Still, do miraculous powers like that exist? Paimon was pretty skeptical before.
You want to awaken some hidden powers too, don't you?
Of course! Wouldn't it make things really easy if you had, say, a super treasure-seeking ability? Or had the power to just destroy any monster with one punch? Come on, Traveler, would you want that?
I'm strong enough as it is. I don't need it. I'm just looking for my sibling.
But doesn't everyone say that the pursuit of more power is endless?
Come on! Hurry up and put the fragments back in the star!
Oh, I wonder what power will awaken. Maybe I'll even ascend to the sky.
Okay, so you want me to put these back? Please. Don't know how that's gonna work.
Falling stars, show your true power! Before you stand a hero who passed the trial, here to request something! I wish I could actually read the dialogue or something!
Well, to be fair, I don't think you did anything. I just did things for you.
Traveler? Do you feel any unbelievable power?
Not really, no.
Big Rock hasn't changed a bit. No mysterious glow, not even sudden shaking or cracking right open. Did we use the wrong incantation? It sounded right to Paimon, though. Still, we occasionally run into situations like this when we're exploring ruins. If you misremember the password or the signal, the mechanism just won't respond. Weird. I was told saying stuff would liberate the hidden power. And the person who told me closed their eyes and started moaning in pain soon after they recited it. Not only that, but afterwards he gained a magic eye that could tell the value of gems.
Those symptoms sound familiar. The symptoms of delusion, actually. Huh? Oh my, I finally found you. You silly goose, how'd you end up out here? Your father's been worried sick about you.
I told him I'd go back when it's time to eat. Did he have to tell you?
Still talking back? You two kids down there, don't you dare either. Who knows what kind of dangers might show up if you dally there. Oh, Mama Coco's mad. He brought up Orko back and explained the situation. Those are just childish fantasies he was talking about. Sorry you had to get involved in this mischief. He's gotten quite naughty, as no one really disciplines him. After all, his mother isn't around and his father's eyesight is poor. I try to help out as a neighbor, but I haven't got unlimited energy either.
Ow! So that's it. Paimon knew it. There's no way something like that could be true. Imagine just collecting a few stone fragments and getting mysterious powers.
Haven't we done that before?
I'm not being naughty. It's for Dad.
Don't be so bird-brained. It's all because you won't listen to those older and wiser.
At least you're safe and sound this time, but did you even stop to think about what would happen if you got into some real trouble someday? Enough. You should just behave now and come back with me.
Fine. But first, here you go, you two. We did agree. Here's the Mora I promised.
Do take it. You wouldn't want him to be someone who isn't true to their word.
Well, since you put it that way, we won't say no. Yeah, maybe I'll need your help in the future. We failed this time, but doesn't mean we won't succeed next time, right? Huh?
You little munchkin.
Come on, Mama Coco. Let's go. My dad's waiting. Thank you both. See you next time.
That's oddly suspicious. It does also kind of look like a dragon scale, so I wonder if maybe big dragon? But also sky shard, possibly. I did this before 5.1. I was so confused on what it was. Oh, this is a 5.0 quest? Maybe it was like an allusion to what happens in the Archon quest, right? But that would have to mean that this happened before Act 3 and 4. Which means that was already there. I think it's a dragon scale. Because I don't think it's the sky. Huh. Okay, so you know the theory that, like, this happened before in Natlan, and then they have to do all this again and again to, like, stop the Abyss and all that? And, like, the Archon has to use all their power, blah, blah. What if this happened 500 years ago, and it was the result of whatever happened then, and then Act 3 and 4 comes around with the Archon quest, and then we just get to see it visually in the Archon quest itself, but this was from 500 years ago, right? That's also a possibility. Whatever was behind the sky was broken already, if this is part of that. You think this is a moon fragment? Ooh. Maybe we find the Moon Sisters through using this